Hey all, Hipper here. So today we're taking out the Maya with a semi-agile build here. So I'll just show you the only difference between the usual agile build and I actually don't prefer this build, but here it is. I have the acceleration instead of the rudder in the second slot here, but that's the only difference. Other than that, it's exactly the same. So you get 3.4 rudder here, and that is a tad slow if you ask me. And as you can see, we've done 11 battles, haven't lost any yet. And I thought that was pretty fun, so I thought, well, I'll use that for clickbait for the video. So, yep, there you go. Anyway, I'm going to show you this battle here where I'm actually using that build. And like I said, I mean, on Atago, I go either way these days, but on Maya, I think I will stick with the full rudder build because I still don't think the turning is quite there. 3.5 seconds, that's too long, I think. I can't really do the stuff I usually do. When you run this build on Atago, you still have, I believe, 2.8 rudder, which is, almost a second faster, so it's less of an issue on that ship. But on Maya, I think I will go with double rudder on the ship. You can, of course, do whatever you like, and if you want to do any other build, that's what you do. But obviously, I stick with agile builds. That's what I do, and that's what this channel is about. So if you don't like that, go watch a different channel. It's very, very simple. Now, one thing I have noticed with Maya now that I've played, more than 10 battles in her, is that the fire chance is actually not as high as you'd think. It's 17%, but you only get 8 shells. So sometimes it can actually be quite difficult to set a fire, especially when you really need it. And that's, it's a little bit of a problem actually. So I have thought about actually putting a sure lane Atago on the ship to just boost the fire chance a little bit. Because first of all, it's not really that accurate. I mean, this is a great ship, don't get me wrong, but it's not as accurate as Atago, and the fire chance seems to suffer a little bit. And of course, the HC damage is also about 10% lower compared to Atago. But anyway, this is tier 6, so it's fair enough. But it is a good ship, definitely. Actually, one of the best and one of the most amusing ships to play. And I highly recommend it. So I know it's not available yet in the store, but when it is available, if you have any sort of interest in Japanese cruisers, and it doesn't have to be agile cruisers, but of course, it's really good at that. I highly recommend that you buy it because it's not too expensive either. It's a tier 6, so it's not like you're paying 18,000 crazy amount of doubloons or anything like that. It's, it's human price. So when I play with the engine upgrade, I tend to play a little bit more, well, I guess, traditional style. You assume the Mogami position and you just sit there and sit fires just like I'm doing here. It's a lot more it's a lot more boring than full rudder builds because there's not as much action, at least if you ask me. But on a map like this, it's particularly useful because there's not that much space on Two Brothers, and agile cruisers, yeah, I mean they do well, but it's more fun on other maps. So now this Francisco here is pushing, and he's totally unaware of me here, or maybe he just doesn't care. I'm not really sure what's going on because I hadn't seen him. So I was thinking for a minute that he came around the corner and I thought, that's the end for me. But apparently not. And I don't know why I shot a wide spread there. That's a good question. But anyway, we do get a torpedo, I believe. And we already have 41,000 damage here in the tier 6 with not even, about like 4 minutes gone of the battle. So I almost get 2 hits there, but yeah, I should have shot a narrow spread. I should have done that. That's what I'm doing here again. And I'm just doing a little bit short because I think he's going to turn in. So if I get the kill, that would be nice. If not, then, well, I don't get it. So the guy is on reload now. He just fired, so that's why I just use the island to stop quickly so I can get some more shells in. And then I'm going to pop it to cover now that he's about ready to fire. And look at those torpedoes, they look very nice, not like the first set. That was a terrible mistake, but that happens. And I keep forgetting about the main battery reload boost in this ship here. I mean, I already used 2 in less than 5 minutes, which is quite impressive actually. And with fully packed you get 3 of them, which is actually very useful. because you also get 3 sonars. I haven't really used any sonars in this battle here, but in some battles it's very valuable. And you know, a trademark of agile cruisers is that you have 3 or minimum 3 of all consumables, meaning that you run fully packed, obviously. And I think it makes extra sense on Maya because you get an extra heal, an extra main battery reload boost, and an extra sonar. That's a lot of bonus for, you know, popping on fully packed. So I mean, you can do whatever you want, obviously, but I find it hard not to play with that. I think I just lose out on too much utility, really. So a lot of people have asked me if I don't find the reload, you know, too low, too slow, or annoying, or anything like that. And you know, it is slow, but I haven't really noticed it, to be honest. I think I'm just too used to playing a Targo, where you know the reload is a smidgen faster by 3 or 4 seconds. But it's not really something I notice. I have to be honest here. I notice it a lot more on something like Yoshino, actually. Although Yoshino, I believe, is actually a little bit faster on the reload than Maya, which is, you know, a little bit strange, but there you go. I don't see Wargaming buffing the ship either, because it is very powerful, and I can understand that the reload is where it is, because this is, like I said, an Atago with 1 less turret and slightly lower HE damage at tier 6, meaning that you can face tier 5 ships. And you know, that's just well, that's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the playground. You know, it's slightly unfair. So the good thing about obviously having the acceleration mod on the ship is that you can play 2 ways, right? You can play the traditional Mogami style, like I did earlier on in the battle, and then when the Reds have been thinned out enough, at least on this flank here, you can start to push into the more traditional agile mode here, which I'm doing now. Because I have 2 battleships, and they're like low tier battleships, so their shells are going to be really slow. So I'm going to have no problems at all dodging them in Maya. It's not a problem at all. Look how slow the shells are. Compared to tier 7 and legendary tier, it's, yeah. And here I'm playing with, you know, a slower rudder than I usually do, and it doesn't, I mean, obviously the faster rudder is actually much better because you are able to dodge a lot more shots. And that's important when you're playing against these battleships here, because do you get hit, then you take a lot of damage. But if you don't get hit, then, I mean, you're laughing. So now it's pretty much just a matter of slowly, you know, evasion tanking our way towards the enemies. And, you know, I was kind of hoping I could get into torp range, but I don't know what this destroyer is doing here. It looks like he's just moving in for a quick kill, but that's pretty risky. He's very close, but he does manage to take out that battleship, and that just completely opens the flank for the 2 of us here. Not that it was a problem, really. He didn't really have to make that sacrifice, or not really a sacrifice, but he didn't really have to make that play. But okay, I'm not gonna complain. I love when people actually help out in this game instead of being, you know, a weight around the waist. But I did miss out on a lot of damage there. I will just complain about that, because there was probably 50k just sitting there waiting to be burned, and the destroyer just stole it. But that's okay. Anyway, so we're moving towards the cap, and you know, the Reds are in trouble. You can look on the other flank; they've pretty much been pushed back, and this is, you know, they capture the base mode, so you know, they have to be a little bit more careful than they are there. So there's also a carrier left, and of course that's nice, because I like to finish off these agile games here with a nice torp run at the end. Even if it is a suicide run, it doesn't really matter. The game is well and truly won. So if I sink, that's fine. I don't really care about that. So I'm going to see if I can chase down that carrier. It looks like last he was spotted, he was heading this way. So should be fairly easy to pick him out once we get a little bit closer. So that cruiser there is getting cold feet. I don't know why, because there's just a destroyer in the cap. There's 1 battleship, but he's all the way on the other flank. Like, he's actually very far away, so I don't know why the cruiser turned back there. That's interesting. But anyway, I'm gonna continue, and there we actually see a Le Terrible, but he's in a really bad spot here. I can't really hit him, because if I turn to engage him, then I'm gonna actually have to give up on actually hitting the cap very early on in the game here, and I really want to do that because I want to draw everyone into the cap. So I'm just gonna do the best I can over here because there is a cruiser out there. So you know, it's not my job. But anyway, so I think he knows that I'm over here. So now he's actually putting himself in a pretty tricky position here because it's just in a spot where I can't hit him, but he's still spotted. So in case he comes at me, I'm just gonna fire some, just in case torpedoes here, because I am spotted. I'm thinking, he's probably gonna come and have a go at me. But then he turns up spotted, and it looks like he's actually going for the other cruiser. But like I said, I just exactly cannot hit him, and it's really frustrating because he's only at like 7-kilometer range here, and I don't know if it's on purpose or whatever, but I'm assuming it is because it's pretty good play, right? But anyway, we have the, I was hoping to get a torp hit there. That would have been excellent, but I didn't. There's nothing better than whacking destroyers with torpedoes. But anyway, as you can see, we have the carrier, out in the horizon, and that looks like a pretty good salvo. Looks like we knocked out his engine, so the other cruiser should have a pretty easy time now. So I'm gonna go for the carrier now, and I'm in the cap. I'm capping, and of course I could stay in here and just do my thing, but I want to get more damage, and that's why I'm actually leaving the cap now. And don't do this at home; it's very naughty, but I am doing it. One thing that I also noted in my first Maya video was that you retain those amazing Atago torpedo angles or arrangement, if you will, where you have sort of an X of torpedoes, or I don't know. It's at least very different from the Mogami and Suzuya style, where you have all the torpedoes at the back of the ship, and you really have to be kiting away to really be able to use your torpedoes for the maximum effect. But while on Maya and Atago, you have forward-facing torpedoes, actually really nice forward-facing torpedoes. So you don't, you're a threat from every angle, and a lot of people forget about that. And that's one of the things that I really capitalize on in this ship, especially down in Tier 6, where, some players maybe have never actually met an Atago, because they haven't made it to Tier 7 yet, and we just went bow in on the annoying Russian carrier there, because, that is really annoying. So the battleship gets in a nasty salvo there, which was really annoying, because, I had this one pretty much, laid up and finished here, but that naughty battleship just made it. But anyway, so the torps miss, and the carrier tries, but we dodged them. And we get the destroyer in the end, and then we just gotta, harass this carrier here a little bit. But as you can see, I'm down to less than 3,000 hit points. I'm on fire, and I have 19 seconds left on my damage control, so I am going to sink now, but it doesn't matter. We finish off with a very nice brawl here, and it's always more fun to finish off this way than just, do something a little bit less interesting. And we are going to win no matter what. We are 2 versus 7, so in any case, it doesn't matter. So they get me, and the carrier gets sunk right after that, and we end up at 3 kills and 123,000 and a high caliber. I think that's the highest damage I've had in Maya so far. It's mainly down to the fact that it's a little bit hard to set fires. And of course, if you want more damage, you just put a Sure Lane Atago on the ship, and surely you will get a bunch, a few more fires, I'm hoping. Probably, I had 106 shells hit and 8 fires, so that's 8%. I'm guessing you can probably get another 2 fires if you run with a Sure Lane Atago, but again, that'll just be my guess on an average basis, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, Maya, it's a highly entertaining ship, and it's very capable, and it does everything right. I think I can live with the slow reload. It doesn't really bother me at all, because like I said, I tend to use torpedoes a lot in these ships here, and the guns are just for setting fires really. And you can use the AP, but just like Atago, you have to make sure that you have a very flat broadside, otherwise you are not gonna do much with it really, unfortunately. But when you do, it hurts. So anyway, that was Maya here, and I highly recommend this ship. It is a lot of fun. So hope you enjoyed it, and see you out there.